In this video, we are going to learn how to multiply fractions. Specifically, we'll learn about problems that involve multiplying a fraction and a whole number, and problems that involve multiplying a fraction with another fraction. A friendly reminder, oftentimes the word of indicates multiplication. Just pay attention to the context. So here's an example. 3/4 of 44 is the same thing as 3/4 times 44. Keep that in mind when we're reading word problems. First, let's try multiplying a fraction by a whole number. In this problem, we have 3/4 of 44, which means 3/4 times 44. And if we look at this little blurb in the pink box, it says we need to write whole numbers as fractions first. And the way we do that is the whole number becomes the numerator and 1 will be the denominator. So we don't change anything about 3/4, but 44 is going to be written as a fraction, 44 over 1. Now it's a fraction, and now we can begin the process of multiplying. So the next step is to simplify diagonally. That means I'm going to be looking at my diagonal pairs and seeing if they can be simplified. So I'm going to look at 44 and 4, and I'm going to ask myself, is there any number that can go evenly into both 44 and 4? If there is, what is it? So I know that 4 can go evenly into both 4 and 44. 44 divided by 4 is 11, and 4 divided by 4 is 1. So I have simplified that diagonal pair. Now I need to look at my other diagonal pair. I have 3 and 1, and I need to ask myself the same question. Is there any number other than 1 that can go evenly into both 3 and 1? And the answer for this diagonal pair is no. There is no number other than 1 that goes evenly into both numbers. So I'm just going to go ahead and write the same numbers outside of my little bubbles. And now I'm going to multiply straight across. So I'll do numerator times numerator, 3 times 11, which gives me 33. And then I do denominator times denominator, which is 1 times 1, and that gives me 1. So I have 33 over 1. Our last step is to simplify our answer and to change improper fractions back to mixed numbers if we have any improper fractions, which here we do. We have 33 over 1, which is simply 33, right? Because 33 divided by 1 is 33. Let's try another one. 7 times 1/3. So again, my first step is to write the whole numbers as fractions. The whole number becomes the numerator, so 7 becomes the numerator. 1 is the denominator, and then times 1/3. So now I want to look at my diagonal pairs and simplify if I can. So my first diagonal pair is 1 and 1, and 1 does go into 1 evenly, but it goes in 1 time, so nothing's going to change. So that will still be a 1, this will still be a 1. Now I'm going to look at 7 and 3, and I'm going to ask myself, is there any number that can go evenly into both 7 and 3? And the answer is no. So I'm just going to write 7 and 3 on the outside of those little bubbles. And now we multiply straight across, numerator times numerator. So I have 7 times 1, which is 7. And then we do denominator times denominator, 1 times 3, which is 3. So this is not our final answer because we have to simplify and change improper fractions back to mixed numbers. This is an improper fraction because the numerator is greater than the denominator. So I need to do 7 divided by 3 to see what my mixed number is going to be. So I get 2 with a remainder of 1. That means our mixed number is 2 and 1/3. And that, my friends, is our final answer. Now let's try multiplying a fraction by a fraction. It sounds like it would be harder, but it's actually easier because there are less steps. Both numbers are already in fraction form, so we just move ahead. We're going to simplify diagonally. So let's look at our diagonal pairs. I have 5 and 3. Is there anything that goes evenly into both 5 and 3 other than 1? No. So those numbers stay the same. And now we look at our other numbers, 2 and 6. Is there anything that goes evenly into both 2 and 6 other than 1? Yes, 2 goes evenly into both 2 and 6. 2 divided by 2, is 1. And then 6 divided by 2 is 3. So now I've simplified diagonally, and we just multiply straight across at this point. Numerator times the numerator, which is 1 times 5, and that gives us 5. And then denominator times the denominator, 3 times 3, which is 9. And then our last step is to simplify the answer or change any improper fractions back to mixed numbers. And as I look at this fraction, I notice it's already in simplest form. It's not an improper fraction, so we are done with this problem. For this problem, I want you to do this on your own, and we're going to check in class. However, I am going to help you set it up. Remember that of means to multiply. So this problem is 1/5 times 3/7. Go through the steps that are outlined in the pink box. Make sure that you are doing everything step by step, not skipping anything, and then we will check this in class.